This is not a dream. We are using your preferred podcast provider as a receiver.
Hello and welcome to Live from Manchester Morgue. I'm Gary. With me, as always, is Ken. Hello, Ken.
Hello.
We are a horror film podcast, and as well as being very British, we are officially the cat-friendliest horror podcast available.
Now we are.
Yeah, officially. Try and name one that's more cat-friendly, and you're going to struggle, I think.
Yeah. Also, we're not that British. We're not like, we're not hardcore British, if you know what I mean.
You're very British sounding.
Well, you know what I'm
You're
getting
you bath in tea.
I actually don't like tea.
Well, that's cancelled that then. We're not British at all. I love tea, so it's all right. Tonight, we've got a trick or treat for you, haven't we, Ken?
Was that your one?
That's the one. No more jokes. Halloween episode, big fat Halloween special. Like a pumpkin's arse.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said that. We're going to talk about 4 films. Normally we just pick 2 that you might watch as a double bill because we think they have some sort of thematic link. But since it's Halloween soon, we've decided to treat you to a quadruple bill instead. So coming up in this bumper episode, we'll be talking about You Might Be the Killer, Deadstream, the pandemic-made found footage chiller host, plus an interview with writer and producer Jed Shepherd. And we'll close things out with Josh Rubin's Scare Me. So as usual, we highly recommend you watch these great films before you listen to the episode, but you don't have to. You know, you don't
have to watch films. You don't even have to listen to this podcast.
You've got free will, and I'm not your dad, so
switch off now. Turn your phone off. Throw it in the river.
Just do whatever the fuck you like.
Yeah.
However, also tonight, as we are celebrating Halloween, we're going to do a competition based around the films and work of John Carpenter. We got these cool hats made, trucker hats. Live from Manchester Morgue Trucker hats, and we've got 2 up for grabs, which you can win, but you have to do a bit of work. You'll need to answer all 3 questions, which will be asked throughout this episode, so you'll have to listen to the end as well, I'm sorry. And whoever gets all 3 right, we're going to put them all the names into a hat, maybe one of those hats.
One of those hats.
One of those 2 hats. And the first 2 we pull out will be contacted for your details so we can post the hat to you. You can comment on this episode if you're able to on Spotify. There's a comment section. If not, alternatively, you can email us the answers to killertunes976@gmail.com and send us a picture of your cat if you want, because we are very cat friendly after all.
Yeah, we collect them.
We collect cat pictures. We're starting a Manchester Morgue Cat Club.
Okay, yeah.
And you're invited, everybody.
Can I just clarify as well that I can't win a hat and you didn't make me one?
Both of those are correct, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I haven't got one either. I haven't got myself a hat. We don't have. You wouldn't wear it anyway.
I don't wear hats.
You don't wear hats.
No. I'd like one though.
All right, I'll find one for you. Do you want to enter the competition?
No, I'm not allowed. There's all sorts of terms and conditions.
Terms and conditions apply. Anyway, question 1. Okay, from which film do we borrow a little bit from at the beginning of our intro? We paraphrase some dialogue at the start, the bit that starts with "This is not a dream." It's a reference to a film. It's dialogue from a film. And it's a John Carpenter film, because that's the theme of the quiz for tonight. So once you've got your 3 answers, comment, email them over, and we'll leave this open for a few weeks, and then we'll announce the winners on a forthcoming episode. Okay, now that's out of the way. I need to do a quick plug for our friend Richard Drew. If you haven't listened to our Ghostwatch episode, we talked to Richard about his design work on Ghostwatch. He worked on the show. And on the 16th of October, at the East Street Tap in Brighton, he's doing a talk about the industry, the TV industry. He has a very varied and storied career in TV. Obviously, we talked to him about Ghostwatch, given the theme of our show. But I'm sure it'll be really interesting. He was a great guest. He had loads of insight into the industry. Perhaps he'll tell some Ghostwatch stories for you, but he'll have a lot to say, no doubt. So yeah, look out for that, 16th of October. We're a little bit late with giving this plug because our schedule meant we're not actually recording it until just before the event. But if you can make it down, East Street Tap in Brighton, I think it's 7 or 7:30. Good time to revisit Ghostwatch, isn't it?
Yeah, and one of the films that we're going to talk about and the interview that we have quite heavily references it as well.
It does, yeah.
Jed Shepherd's a big fan of Ghostwatch.
Jed Shepherd, yeah, writer-producer of Host, which we're going to talk about later. Yeah, big fan of Ghostwatch. We chatted to him about that, as you'll find out in a bit. We're going to continue our ongoing thing of how many cats are in it in this episode. I
didn't do a cat count. I'm relying on you for that.
Well, I did it, so it's all right.
All right,
okay. I mean, I might as well get it out of the way. There are no cats in any of these films.
Oh, so...
Except for Ghostwatch, which isn't really one of the films.
There's loads of cats in Ghostwatch.
Wow, you think
or is
loads?
It sounds of cats?
There's sounds of cats,
but
there is actually a cat in it as well. There's a bit where Sarah Green follows the trail of children's drawings to the back door, the patio doors.
Yeah.
And there's a cat out there.
Okay.
So yeah, the only film that we're talking about tonight, which isn't actually on the list of things that we were going to talk about, is Ghostwatch, that has a cat in it.
But go and find the episode.
You want?
Go and find the episode of Ghostwatch, where we talked to Richard Drew.
Sorry, right, yes. Go and find the episode of our show. Not the episode of Ghostwatch, which is what I thought you meant.
Go and find the episode of Ghostwatch as well.
Yeah,
because it is an episode of a series, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah, it's an episode of a original drama series that BBC did. I can't remember what it's called.
That nobody knew was a drama, and then people died and that.
Yeah.
Let's not go into that. Right, so the theme of tonight's theme is all the films we're going to talk about have an air of postmodernism to them in some way. There's an irony to them.
So let's give you cliff notes of postmodernism in specifically horror. So what do we mean by postmodernism? In culture, postmodernism is a age-old concept, but specifically in film, it's usually a byword for self-reference, intertextuality, so like either a Russian doll or a snake eating its own tail of narrative, films referencing films within films, general self-reflection, culture and genre commentary. So in horror, the most quintessential postmodern film is Scream. I had to learn about postmodernism in university when I was studying film, and they use Scream as an example.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Scream is, for anyone listening to this who hasn't seen Scream, any of the Scream films, Scream is a film that contains characters that know all about... It's a slasher film that contains characters that know all about slasher films, that are constantly talking about the tropes and archetypes of slasher films while they're in a slasher film getting killed.
Yep.
Scream is nowhere near the earliest example of postmodernism in horror. If you want to go really far back, and I'm sure there's even earlier than this, you want to go to Michael Powell's 1960 film Peeping Tom, which features a killer who kills his victims with a bayonet mounted to a camera.
So he can film their death.
Yeah, so both you and the killer are watching. So it's the first.
Yeah, does it have a mirror on the camera so the victim watches themselves die?
So
that's right. Yeah.
So the victim can watch themselves die, and you, as the viewer, are with the killer watching the person die. So it's one of the early examples of filmmakers, writers, the genre itself kind of reflecting in on itself.
Right.
Another example would be John McNaughton's Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer.
Oh, yeah.
The scene where you're basically watching a horrible rape murder.
That home invasion scene.
Yeah, and first you watch it, and then you realise that the killers are watching it back on a tape, and you've been sat there watching it with them.
Was that not something... Did he do that on purpose to get around it? Was it not originally supposed to be that the scene was just in the film, and he did that to get around the censorship of it? Because
that's interesting. Maybe.
I don't know if I might be remembering that wrong, but I feel like he did that to skirt the censorship, or maybe it was always intended to be that for that reason, though.
Yeah.
Like, they weren't actually depicting it on the screen; they were depicting it on screen within the screen, so it didn't. Do you know what I mean? It was some. I feel like it was something like that.
Yeah. So I mean, it's peppered throughout the horror genre specifically. I think all of our picks are within the last 10 years, which I think to us represents that. Even now, when all the shit that's happened in history and in the world, the horror genre more than anything is looking within itself and trying to kind of do something different and be a bit self-reflective. So yes, they're all postmodern.
Yeah, examples. In their own way, and you can apply that term as loosely as you will, but that was our take on it. And overall, we just wanted to pick 4 films that we thought were good, fun Halloween watches. So individually or watch them as an all-nighter,
Yeah.
Let's call it an all-nighter.
They're all quite short films.
They're all reasonably short. You could do them over an evening, I think, if you fancy doing a marathon. So we'll get cracking. The first film on our list is You Might Be the Killer, with 0 cats.
No cats. No.
No cats whatsoever.
Lots of dead counsellors.
So it's kind of a... How do you explain this one? It's kind of it's obviously very, very referential of Friday the 13th. It's set at a camp.
Yeah, so this is like Friday the 13th crossed with Christopher Nolan's Memento. But...
You're right, it is.
Yeah, and I only realised it because I've watched this for the second time very recently for this, and I didn't realise that it does kind of work backwards like that, because when it starts off, it's 9 counsellors dead, and then
I didn't make that connection when I watched it, but yeah, you're right. It does play like that very well. Yeah,
so this is a film where someone is at camp and there's a lot of dead counsellors already, and he calls his best mate, who's like a video store clerk,
who's Alison Hannigan, Willow from Buffy,
the Alison Hannigan.
Yeah.
And she kind of helps him through it, and very early on she realises that he actually might be the killer.
Yeah, it's very fun for fans of the genre. It's very knowing.
Yeah,
it's very fun. I mean, she name checks various killers, doesn't she?
She does,
just, like Matt Cordell from Maniac Cop.
Yeah, there's some deep cuts as well.
Yeah.
I mean, Maniac Cop's not like, he's a pretty deep cut.
It's deep. It's deep for a casual fan.
Yeah, but. It's a bit of a Whedon verse. I know we don't really talk about Joss Whedon that much nowadays, but Alison Hannigan, obviously Willow from Buffy, and Fran Kranz is the main character, and he was in Dollhouse and Cabin in the Woods.
Is he in Dollhouse as well?
Yeah, right. He's one of the main characters in Dollhouse, which is a great series. Shame it got cancelled.
I've heard that was really good, yeah. So he's weirdly he's in this and another, almost typecast as being another guy who's in... a meta horror film.
Woods, yeah. Although I prefer him as the more Weasley pathetic guy in this than he's scared.
Yeah.
Than the stoner in Cabin in the Woods. He's a bit more annoying in that.
Fair enough. It's very referential, as I say, of Friday the 13th. Right down to there's whispering voices that sound a bit like.
Yeah. So it's interesting. It turns out, I mean, spoilers, came out in 2018. Stop, pause, go watch the film, come back. But it turns out that the reason he can't remember is he's being compelled by a mask of like a killer.
Yeah.
And the mask compels him to put it on, and then he kills a bunch of people. And then there's more twists towards the end. But what it plays, when you first watch it, if you've never seen it before, and you got Alison Hannigan's character in the video store saying, maybe it's this, maybe it's that, and it's a bit fantastical. I like to think that the sounds were the audience, us.
Yeah.
Because he's being talked to, and it's like, kill her and kill him, and kill the kayak guy, and
it's Steve the kayak king.
Steve's the kayak king, yeah. And it turns out it's the mask telling him to do it. But I like that. There's that kind of fourth wall breaking where
you want to see the kills. Yeah,
exactly.
Okay. Makes sense.
And there's an element to that. It made me think of another camp-based postmodern horror, In a Violent Nature.
Yep, sure. Which is a vastly less fun film.
It's less fun, yeah. Apart from that one kill.
Yeah.
But that's like we're with the killer, and if you spend the entire film with the killer, you have to support him as you would support any protagonist in a horror.
Okay.
So you would be saying, kill that guy.
Fair.
Kill those really fucking annoying
In a Violent Nature is very good for that. I did root for that guy.
Yeah.
Just trudging his way across the map.
It just seems really nice. He's walking through nature. I bet it smells nice.
Yeah. Take the killing, the absolutely visceral, brutal murders out of it, and it's actually quite a happy little nice trudge through the countryside.
But you get that one scene in A Violent Nature where it's like that unbroken shot of going around the campfire, hearing them say the most inane, stupid, horrible things, and you're like, okay, kill them all.
yeah, die now.
But yeah, You Might Be the Killer's really good. I think Frank Kranz does well at most of the film. He doesn't know what the fuck's going on. There's all sorts of different kind of character tropes that they throw in there. I like the whole text on screen thing, like
I've written that in my notes. Yeah, I liked it how the timeline is demarcated on screen by how many councillors are dead at any given point.
Yeah.
So it'll be scored 2 councillors dead, and that'll be at some point in the film. It's a reference to, it's a timestamp essentially.
Yeah.
It's the number of dead councillors.
And we even get it's a bit like Cabin in the Woods in that towards the end he's kind of. He doesn't want to kill anymore. He knows he's the killer. He doesn't want to use the mask anymore.
Yeah.
But Alison Hannigan's like, oh, hang on, you've got a final girl situation. She's going to fucking kill you, so you need to take care of her.
Yeah.
And then you think what's going on? So it is playing around with like slasher tropes and stuff, much like
Alison Hannigan, who consults a book that's clearly bound in human skin. What would you think that was a reference to?
I have no idea.
Me neither.
Yeah.
We can briefly mention we did have a 5th film on the list for tonight, but I
only mention it because I moan so much.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a good film.
It's a really good film.
So if you like this, if you watch You Might Be the Killer and you enjoy the vibe, we also highly recommend The Final Girls.
Yeah, The Final Girls is Last Action Hero, but a slasher film.
Yeah, and it's very similar, very knowing, right down to the Friday the 13th noises again in this and all that. It would make a great double bill with You Might Be the Killer if you're into that sort of thing.
Yeah, good shout, actually. If we were to do a normal episode, I would put those together.
Yeah, we would put those together. I'd also give an honourable mention to Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon.
We should do an episode on that.
I would love to do an episode on that. Yeah. It's fucking great. And I read on social media yesterday, there was a video of sorry, forgive me, I forget the names, but the star and the director were both at some convention recently doing a photo op with the mask, where you can get a photo taken with him as Leslie Vernon. And on the Q&A, apparently the script is written for the second one.
Oh.
They've not started production, but it's written. Whether it's been bought, I don't know. Whether they're going to make it, I don't know. But they have written a script.
Oh, yeah, Shudder
for Leslie Vernon too. Yeah, you'd think so, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I mean, I love Shudder, but I mean, there's a lot of shite. There's a lot of shite on there.
Yeah.
I mean, if some of the quality of some of the things I've seen on Shudder, a second Leslie Vernon should absolutely get a shout.
Yeah, it would be a big get for them.
Yeah, it would. Right, we'll go on to another film, but also some people have been in touch on Blue Sky to me this week because I asked a question about what you think is essential viewing for the spooky season. So I'm going to read some of those out. What people think. Brian McCall, we've mentioned him on the show before. He's a listener.
Yeah.
He watches Halloween every October, and often The Exorcist.
Yeah, my favourite horror film of all time.
Yeah, and absolutely terrifying.
Which Halloween?
What if someone says Halloween? I'm assuming it's 78.
Halloween 2007, Halloween 2018.
When someone says Halloween, they're not talking about Rob Zombie, they're talking about John Carpenter.
Yeah, I watched 2018 today because I was listening to a podcast about 2007.
I love 2018, but it's a strange one because it's named the same, but it's actually a sequel.
Terrible SEO.
This bothers me, unreasonably so, right? When people talk about The Thing and they refer to it as John Carpenter's The Thing, it's like, we know which one you're talking about. No one talks about the prequel.
I was reading something earlier. I watched the Corridor Digital video, which has Memoirs of an Invisible Man, which I loved when I was a kid.
I've never seen it.
Yeah, I've not seen it recently, but I remember loving it as a kid for both the special effects and Chevy Chase, even though he's turned out to be a bit of a knobhead now.
Yeah, apparently, yeah.
But apparently Carpenter hated that. I mean, Carpenter hates a lot of films that he made. Carpenter hated that. I read an article that because he hated it so much, he took his John Carpenter's thing off it. And I'm pretty sure that he doesn't mandate that those films are John Carpenter's.
Yeah,
that feels like bollocks.
No.
Yeah.
As well as which, I mean, Memoirs of an Invisible Man is already quite a mouthful. John Carpenter's Memoirs of an Invisible Man. Nobody's saying that shit.
Yeah.
Christine Merrill got in touch. This is a great list. She said she watches The Haunting, the 63 one.
Amazing film.
The Pit and the Pendulum.
Oh, wow.
Village of the Damned. So John Carpenter remade Village of the Damned, which I only watched in the last 6 months.
It's good. Christopher Reeve's in it.
It's interesting.
Yeah. Mark Hamill's in it.
There's a human vivisection in it. That's quite good.
Yeah. Someone falls on a barbecue, which is fun.
That's right. Yeah, they get annihilated, don't they?
Yeah.
Them with the ants.
Oh, this is a great list.
I know, this is a really classic horror film. 5 Million Years to Earth and Dr. Phibes. Both Dr. Phibes. Abominable and Return of, is it?
Yeah.
And she goes on to say, those are every year watches. The rest of the month is reserved for new horror. Oh, right. On Halloween, I tend to wind down with some classic Universal monsters.
Which you haven't seen much.
No, I've only seen Creature from the Black Lagoon. Wow. No, I think I've seen one of the Wolfmans.
You've not even seen Frankenstein or Bride of Frankenstein?
I saw a sequel to the Wolfman, or I don't know. It was one of them with Larry Talbot in it, and he's at the end of it. The Wolfman's dead, and one of the guys that was hunting him or something, he turns to the camera to address the audience, like totally breaks the fourth wall and goes, "What do you people think?"
Oh, I like that.
But I don't know which one it was. I don't think it was the
Castle.
original one. I think it was like maybe some sequel to the Wolfman.
Okay.
Yeah, it was cheesy as fuck. I loved it. And that's that for now. We've got more of those. We'll come back to those in a bit.
Yeah.
We want to move on to host in a moment. But before we do that, we'll do quiz question 2.
Mm-hmm.
So the rules are at the beginning. Skip back to that if you've forgotten. So competition question 2 for your chance to win a hat. What was the name of Michael Myers' first victim in the original 1978 Halloween movie? Not the multiple different Halloweens that Ken was talking about before. The OG John Carpenter one. Who was his first victim? And we don't want what they were, we want their name.
Okay.
Right?
Which I got wrong before the podcast recorded. So I lost all my cred.
So number 2 on our film list is Host 2020. If you haven't seen Host, essentially it's about it was filmed in 2020, which is the height of the pandemic in the UK at least.
Yeah.
So none of us were allowed to do anything or go anywhere on pain of being fined, which actually happened to some people who went for a walk and stuff, didn't it?
Yeah.
So they got together, a group of friends and filmmakers got together to make a horror film on which they all go on Zoom to do a Zoom call with a medium, a spiritualist who guides them through a seance, which, being a horror film, obviously goes about as well as you'd expect.
Yeah. So I have a couple of things, because we're gonna briefly take you to an interview with Jed Shepherd.
Yes, we are. Yeah. Writer-producer Jed Shepherd. Yeah, he's coming up on the show shortly.
But before that, because we do talk about Host a lot in the interview, but I wanted to add a couple of things. So one little thing is a couple of nights ago for my Spooktober viewing, I rewatched Boogeyman, which is
the new one.
Yeah,
the closet monster.
Yeah,
I've read the story, the Stephen King one, in it, but I've never seen the film of it.
So it's very good. So that's Rob Savage.
Oh, right.
It's Rob's first film.
I had no idea.
The dash cam.
Right.
Peter.
Rob Savage, director of Host.
Director of Host and Dashcam.
That's why that's relevant.
It's got David Dastmalchian in. It's really, really good.
He's everywhere, isn't he, at the moment?
Yeah.
He's in everything.
And one of the key plot points in the film is that the main character's mother has died, and at one point she goes on a YouTube video to try and think of a way to get her mother back, and she watches on YouTube the seance, the clairvoyant from Host.
Oh, wow.
Doing the whole light the candle thing.
Oh, cool.
So that's a key point in Boogeyman, so I thought it was quite cool.
Oh, that's excellent. So is it not the scene from Host, but the same character doing a separate thing?
I think it's an extended scene from Host. So it's her telling them about the candle, but she's doing it. It's a bit longer than in the film.
That's cool. So the films are in the same universe, essentially, then.
Yeah.
Mint.
Really cool.
I love crossovers.
Really, really cool. And I think the other thing I wanted to mention is one of the key elements of the postmodernism that is the theme of these films. Host didn't invent, but it popularized what we now call screen life, the screen life genre. So that's Unfriended in horror.
Oh, yeah.
The thrillers Missing, and there was another one, Missing and something, another word.
Yeah.
But essentially, the film is told through the medium of a laptop screen, or you're on the other side of a laptop, or a mobile screen, or a security camera, and you can see the UI most of the time. And it's kind of it's not growing as much as, say, found footage, although it is a kind of offshoot of found footage. But it's very, for me, and if anyone who's a philosophy nerd, it's very hyper-real.
Sure.
Zizek might have called it like hyper-reality, in that we are now watching fake movies that are about our real experiences through fake media. It's mind-blowing.
So I suppose that a precursor to that movement then perhaps would have been something like One Missed Call.
Yeah, 100%.
And before that, probably Ring. Because you're using that technology as a medium to...
Ring Sadako, like, literally, the whole thing is about a VHS tape and she ends up coming through the screen. So now we are watching the horror unfold as if we are kind of looking into a screen, even though we are.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my RC film student moment of the podcast.
Right, I'll do my RC nerd thing then. Talking about Ringu as the Japanese original is called, right?
Oh, that's like a weeb nerd thing.
Yeah, I know, weeb nerd. King of the weebs. Right, that's how I would defeat Sadako, right? Because after 7 days after I watch the video, right, get the telly set up and have it facing another telly, and then she starts coming out of telly and put the video on, so she curses herself.
Holy shit! Whoa, that's like that's the modern version of like holding a mirror to Medusa.
It is exactly that.
You're like a modern Perseus.
I am Perseus, Darius. Anyway. So, without further ado, I think it's best left to at least someone who was involved in the making of this great film. So we'll turn you over now to our interview with Jed Shepherd. We're very honoured to welcome a very special guest, screenwriter of 2020's Host, the pandemic set found footage masterpiece. I will go ahead and say masterpiece. So welcome to the show, Jed Shepherd. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me, guys. Happy to be here.
It's a bit weird having you on the show, having just watched Host again last night and being on a Zoom call, because it brought back a lot of traumatic memories for me. I shit myself again, because I did the first time. So I was revisiting that last night. Still a great movie.
Thank you. Yeah, and I do have to warn you, like, this isn't even a joke. My internet's really patchy at times. Not today; it seems to be fine, but so if I come off for some reason, I'm not pranking you guys or
right.
we're not gonna get a
jump going really badly.
No, it's literally my internet. But yeah.
Thanks for the warning, man.
So yeah, I recently watched Host again. It was my second or third watch. I got the fancy Blu-ray, which was
second sight.
Yeah, which is kind of horrible because the menu is the Zoom interface, and it's like Zoom interface, Zoom at work, Zoom at home, Zoom on a big 50-inch TV. So fantastic film. Host is let's face it, it's a bit of a phenomenon. It popularized what is now being called the screen life horror, and is arguably one of the most defining cultural moments of the COVID pandemic. It really is. Did you guys know that you had kind of lightning in a bottle when you were making it?
No, we didn't. We genuinely didn't know what we were doing. We just thought we were just making a silly movie with our friends. We didn't even really think it was a movie, to be honest. We were just like, we're going to film something with our friends. We persuaded them all to do it, and genuinely they just thought it was like just another Tuesday. Just when we got them on the call, and was like, hey, we're gonna make this Zoom movie, and then we're like, okay, cool, all right, because we have forced them to do tons of short films with us and silly little projects for the last 10 years. So, this was just another one of those things. And so, yeah, we had absolutely no idea. Not until literally it was released. We didn't even know what we had.
It's funny because you came off the back of one of Rob's shorts that you guys made, which was its own little mini kind of viral thing. And then, of course, viral's an odd word to use when we're talking about this subject. But and then you make Host, which is an extension of that idea, and that just explodes and is now kind of a part of the pantheon, really.
But the that little kind of 2-minute prank video, that wasn't a short film. That was literally just a prank video we did with our friends. And I just said to Rob 5 seconds before, do you think I should record this? And he was like, yeah. So just recorded the prank video, sent it to him afterwards. And he edited it into a semi kind of story thing. And then he put it online, and then, that blew up, that 2-minute prank video. And the Host is an extension of, that idea.
So we were discussing before we had you on, Jed, about another similar British phenomenon that I think Host is quite a good companion to. Gaz, did you have something to say about that?
Yeah, well, if I can just, I'm not stalking you on Instagram or anything, but I did notice that you met up with, I am a little bit, I stalk everybody on Instagram. I noticed you were at the Inside Number Nine show,
I was, yes,
and you
yes.
met of several people, but Stephen Volk was there.
Yeah, so no, so we had a Masters of Horror dinner on Sunday. So that's where I met up with everybody. But I
Ah,
did
beg
go
your
to
pardon.
Inside Number Nine the night
Yeah,
before, in
that was
Milton
it.
Keynes, and then yeah, they didn't have any time to hang out there, and seeing them the next day anyway. So
Sure.
yeah, Stephen Falk and Leslie Manning and the Inside Number Nine and Ghost Stories guys and
Yeah, amazing. Because
legends.
we had a guy called Richard Drew on the show earlier in the year. Who was he did some production design on Ghostwatch.
Oh, nice.
Um,
On
and we
Ghostwatch.
on Ghostwatch, yeah. So
What?
he
Yeah.
shared some like concept art and stuff that he kept back from 1992. It was really cool. And he was telling us he was the guy who was upstairs banging on the pipes to represent pipes when they were filming downstairs. It was actually him doing it.
Legend.
Um,
Legend.
but from there, I mean, he pointed out that Inside Number Nine obviously had that episode, the live one that goes scary and wrong, which leads us back into Ghostwatch in a way. And we were wondering if Ghostwatch was an influence on you making Host.
Yeah, I think it probably was the biggest influence. Yeah, it's quite obvious. Like I am the biggest, literally the biggest Ghostwatch fan. On the Ghostwatch Blu-ray, I am on the in the extras on the documentary.
Oh,
I
great.
think it's like the cast and the crew Ghostwatch, and then me and Rob as well. But yeah, because I'm obsessed, and and I've met. That's the first time I've met Stephen Volk in person. I've met him, on podcasts and stuff a million times, but I've met Leslie quite a few times now, and I'm just in absolute awe of what those guys achieved, and with Host from the very start, the Zoom I don't if you know this, but the Zoom number, the code to log into Zoom on it is 31101992, which is
No
the
way.
Oh, fantastic.
which is the date
Yeah, Dave.
it came out on the BBC.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah, we're that blatant. We're just like, yeah, we love Ghostwatch. This is
That's
our
so
thing.
cool.
But the interesting thing a lot of people don't know as well is I used to have a podcast as well. I think it was back in 2017, I want to say. I interviewed Stephen Volk. It was 2017, 2018. I interviewed Stephen Volk on it. And a number of things happened in that podcast. One of them is that the Inside Number Nine guys, I think it was Reese, was texting Stephen Volk at the time we were having the interview. It's like, sorry, Reese is texting me. He said he wants to put pipes into the background of an episode of Inside Number Nine, and I was like, that's so cool. But then how that podcast ended, I asked him the question. I asked Stephen Volk the question: do you think anyone else will do anything, like Ghostwatch, that will kind of go viral for being spooky and British? And he said he doesn't think so, but he was like, maybe you'll do it, Jed. That's what he
Oh
said.
wow.
Well, there you
So
go.
There you go.
yeah, so it's so funny that years later, and we, as soon as Host kind of blew up, the first thing that we all did was like Ghostwatch, which I think is one of the reasons why it got the big kind of Blu-ray release on like 2021, because we non-stop talked about it in interviews. But yeah, it's the best. Love it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
incredible.
I have
12-year-old me was scarred for life in 1992 on that fateful night.
same. Yeah, I have that big deluxe Blu-ray. I was fascinated by how
So
many
good.
of my friends and relatives hadn't seen it when I bought that, and I'm like, oh my god, we'll have to go around and see it. But yeah, Host, definitely a companion piece to Ghostwatch. When Host came out, I've always got my eyes glued to Shudder for new releases, and when Host came out, especially when we were all like kind of locked in, and I had people like messaging me like, oh yeah, that's real, that really happened, and I'm like, this is Ghostwatch, this is that again. I wanted to move on to the script itself. It's incredibly economic, especially watching again yesterday. I noticed how just very streamlined it is. We have the build up to so we can get to know these characters, and then it's just bam, bam, bam. Like I think I watched some of the extras on the Blu-ray, but I was thinking, was it always the intention was it ever the intention to make it similar length to a Zoom call? Because it's very streamlined.
Yeah, I think that I don't want to kind of blow my own trumpet, but I think that was my idea. Um, because just it's funny, it's funny if like and at the time no one had like Zoom Premium or anything, so like it always just ended early. But yeah, I think we really wanted the story to kind of finish where it needs to finish. And we filmed like tons and tons and tons of stuff, and we had the most amazing cast and skeleton crew, but it was a real group. It takes a village to make something like that, and I need to give credit to the actors as well, because as you may know, a lot of it was improvised. So even though we gave them the basic story structure and some of the stuff, a lot of the things that they say is just straight from them. Like like happy spookies is the kind of like the kind of catchphrase that kind of came out of host. And when I watched it a little bit earlier than the others, I said to Emma, "Oh, this happy spookies thing that you say, like, I think that's people are gonna love that." And she was like, "I never said that." And I was like, "Yeah, you did. I'm watching it right now." And she couldn't remember because, it's just improv. It's just spur of the moment. So, yeah, and it helped that they were real friends. It's a real friendship dynamic. So we didn't. It was already instilled in the kind of the conversations, the friendship dynamic. So, it's really easy. I mean, the blueprint besides Ghostwatch was the Blair Witch Project. So,
Sure.
no, we had some good things to look at to see how to do, a decent fan footage movie.
Yeah.
It resonates as well.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ken, go.
No, guys, you wanted to kind of talk about some of the
you kind of
naturalistic
answered
kind of dialogue.
You kind of answered the question I had in mind, which is what really struck me on the rewatch last night was just how naturalistic a lot of the dialogue is. Specifically so during the first sort of 10 minutes, the establishing stuff, they seem like friends and they talk like friends. So I was going to ask you how much of that, at least the initial 10 minutes was, how hard did you have to write it? But evidently not that hard. I guess if they improvised a lot of it.
Yeah, because we were zooming all together, that same group of people every single day of the pandemic, watching movies together, doing quizzes online. So it's the exact same group of people. But the ones that are the better actors out of us, made the cut. Luckily, I'm not in it. Yeah, I mean, we before we started filming, we did multiple different seances, me and Rob initially, and then Gemma Hurley came on board to help us as well. So we did multiple seances with internet psychics, and so we could get the terminology of how it all works. So we kind of had that, and we knew the language and just the process of how to do, because no one had ever done a Zoom seance before, so we had to establish, okay, what are the kind of rules of it, and then we did a practice seance with the ladies, and so just to see how they would react in a seance situation. So yeah, we were just taking notes and just saw the things that they were saying, and we tweaked what they were going to do based on that. So yeah, so we try to keep it as natural as possible, because the enemy of found footage is artifice. So you need to keep it as authentic as possible. And
that's why it works, right?
Exactly. Real names, real friendship. Every single thing was real. They did not know that actress wasn't a psychic.
I was going to ask that too. I thought she might have been. Just based on how convincing she was.
She's not a real psychic, but I think she's played a bunch of psychics and other things now.
Right.
But she no, she's an actor. She plays Doctor Who's mum in Doctor Who. She's like an established actress. Yeah.
No way.
That's big time.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, but all credit to the cast for just being awesome. But yeah, it just felt like a almost a normal Zoom call, because we'd always try to prank each other and scare each other. So yeah, it felt real.
Speaking of the mix of authenticity and artifice, I want to talk about Dashcam. I absolutely love Dashcam. It was fascinating watching both of them back to back last night because, Gaz, the other day we were talking about Texas Chainsaw and Texas Chainsaw 2, and you compared it to the escalation with Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2. And watching Host and Dashcam back to back, it's the exact same escalation. It's the same format, but dialed right up to 11.
Yes.
The character of Annie is absolutely fascinating. I think it's one of the most divisive horror protagonists we're ever likely to get. Can you tell us about the creative process of building that character?
Yeah, a lot of people, because we've never done, or at least I've never done any extras on Dashcam. I don't know if anyone has. I haven't seen any extras.
I couldn't find a decent any sort of edition of it. Yeah,
but you know, one day there'll be a really good documentary about Dashcam, and I will be right there because I think it'd be very interesting. So I've known Annie for I think over 10 years now. She was in a band called Giant Drag.
I saw Giant Drag at Leeds in 2005.
Nice. So as you know, she's a lead singer. It was a more popular band over here than it was in America. She's very LA. You know, she was voted one of the 50 coolest people in the world in like Enemy or Melody Maker or whatever it was. But yeah, I just became friends with her. I used to have a record label, so I became friends with her. I used to hang out with her, stay at her house, and you know, she's a character. And she used to do the real this thing called band car, where she would be driving around in a car around LA and have her phone, and people would suggest a word and she'd rap it. So that's real. Like Host, it's just like real. And I was like, oh, one day I'm going to make a horror film out of this. So so one time, I think it was 2017, I'd come back to the UK from LA, and I pitched it to Rob. I was like, okay, we've got this idea, Rob. Lady called Annie Hardy. I think he knew Giant Drag a little bit. Pitched a band car horror movie. And he's like, okay, cool, what happens? And I was like, oh no, maybe she picks up someone who's possessed. She has to take her from A to B. All hell breaks loose. And that's all we had at the start. And then we pitched that around, that kind of premise, in 2018, I want to say. And everyone was like, what the hell is this? Like, this is nonsense. But then after Host, we were like, okay, we can do anything now. And then, you know, we had Blumhouse on the hook. So we were like, okay, this is the only time we're ever going to be able to make a crazy movie like this, and people will let us. So, and because, you know, Host was almost universally loved, and it was almost too much. And you know, being British, I don't like it when people give me too much compliments. I mean, I appreciate you guys doing it, but like, it's weird to me. And if so, we made something that we knew would be divisive from the start. We didn't know how successful that division would be in the current climate of political climate. You know, we made something that, you know, we could only make that one time, and we just used Annie and turned it up to 11 and threw in all of the kind of cool horror set pieces that we love. And you know, I love Dashcam. I think it's finding its audience now, when it's, you know, a little bit of time has separated, you know, the kind of hotness of it, like being banned from View Cinemas or Odeon Cinemas. I can't remember which one. Yeah, like what films get banned nowadays? And apparently we got banned. Still don't know why.
It's almost like a badge of honor, though, right?
I was going to say the exact same thing.
It never happens to anyone.
Yeah.
Oh, we loved. You've
got your own video nasty.
Exactly. We actually loved it. But you know, the thing is, like, it premiered at the London Film Festival, the prestigious London Film Festival. They didn't just play it once; they played it 3 times. That's you know, that's a real good you know, badge of honor as well. So but yeah, it's you know, it's a fun, you know, out there movie, and very un-British of us to make a movie like that. It feels very American.
Yeah, it doesn't. I think there's a defiance there that is very British, which I certainly identify with, especially being a inner city Brit. But I think, as you said, there are a lot of subversions in there, and I mean, there's a lot of genre subversions in Host. But I think often artists try to do these subversive things, and it doesn't click with a lot of people as it should. Like what was your initial reactions to the negative reception of Dashcam?
We got negativity immediately because it played at TIFF. So like about this time, like in 2021, and immediately it was just like, oh, these guys are trying to further a right-wing, propaganda. And we were like, what? Have you actually seen the movie?
Have you watched it? Yeah.
Yeah. And then, and that kind of set the tone basically. So people who hadn't even seen it were already moaning about it. Like people were like literally giving it 1-star reviews in Letterboxd. I haven't seen the movie, but I've heard about it, 1 star. And but like we were like, but it's funny to us because we don't care about that kind of thing. And I genuinely think the main reason is because it's an unlikable female protagonist, and where we would give male protagonists, we would give them some leeway. Male protagonists do the most awful things sometimes, like in Breaking Bad. But if it's a woman, then people go crazy. But it's I never read reviews anyway, good or bad. So whatever it is, to me it's fine. We got to make a movie, and we're still making cool movies. So
excellent.
I think I think in the years to come, people will revisit Dashcam and see it for what it is.
Hope so.
Or we would hope.
Yeah.
It's very interesting that you talk about the gender archetypes there, because I'm suddenly struck by the fact that I rewatched Lethal Weapon the other day. For some reason, I watched Lethal Weapon, and I'm thinking, Riggs is a complete psychopath in that film. He endangers lives like constantly, and he's like one of the all-time action heroes, where Annie kind of refuses to wear a mask and she's just the devil.
Yeah, it was it was the climate at the time. And so she was just designed to be kind of hated, and they just kind of ignored the fact that she actually kind of redeems herself a little bit. But it's a horror movie, and I think that the most horrific thing you could do in a horror movie is put the audience in the shoes of someone who is politically different from them, especially in our time. So, horror fans and I would say a lot of film fans in general are mostly left-leaning. So, and like we can't just have the protagonist being the exact same as the audience all the time. So, it's a horror movie. Sure. It's meant to horrify you. It's meant to challenge you. So putting you in the shoes of someone who doesn't think politically the same as you and having you enjoy the ride and maybe like her a little bit, that's what's horrifying to people, because it's holding the mirror up to them, especially America. And the fact she's a brash American coming over to the UK and causing havoc.
How dare.
Yeah, exactly. But, I think the response in Europe to the response in America are polar opposites. The response over here, like Empire magazine, called us like the geniuses of our generation after Dashcam, and whereas we got the complete opposite, like in some corners of America. So it's humbling, but it's also a lot of fun. And you only get to, not very many people get to make cool movies, and we made the movie we wanted to make, and it's fun. And like, who knows, maybe Dashcam 2 will come along, and and we'll see what happens.
There's something quintessentially British about, I felt sorry for Stretch throughout the entire film, because there's something quintessentially British about having a mate that's that much of a knobhead. Everyone's got our one mate.
Exactly. Okay. And I think he played that role like really, really well as well. Just the antithesis of Annie, and just always being the victim of whatever like nonsense she was getting them into.
Speaking of that actor, who his name escapes me, but he's amazing.
Amashadra Patel.
Yes, he was also in the fantastic Willow reboot series, which was great. He's like big time now, Disney Plus big time. But
he is, yeah. He's in my little short film I did for Netflix as well, called Flashback.
So this is what I was going to mention. I watched Flashback on Netflix, nice. which was fantastic. A great little concept, really well executed, which is kind of you in full creative control as opposed to kind of working directly alongside Rob. and everyone else, of course. But
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, after kind of bouncing around with the success of the other films that you did with a wider creative group, what was it like kind of going on under a huge banner like Netflix and writing and directing?
Good question. I'd like to say that they treated me really bad, but they didn't. They treated me like amazingly. Like, I had a lovely time with Netflix. Really, really did. They, they didn't interfere too much. They were lovely to me. Gave me pretty much everything I wanted. I can't complain, and like now I'm in the Netflix family, so it's very handy, and made lots of good contacts as well. So yeah, like I'm no doubt do other stuff with them too. But no, it was so much fun, and my sensibilities are like not just like horror movies, but like stuff like the Goonies and those kind of 80s feel good family movies.
Yeah.
And like gateway horror movies like The Gate and things like that, and Gremlins. I love that kind of
Jed,
stuff.
I just showed my
Yeah.
10-year-old Army of Darkness for the first time the
Oh,
other week,
nice.
and he
Nice,
loved it.
nice,
He's not
nice.
quite ready for Evil Dead 2 yet, but he really enjoyed Army of Darkness.
Sam Raimi, I don't know if you saw his name in the credits, but yeah, he helped me lots on flashbacks. So I moved away from one kind of creative group, and I got Sam Raimi, and so yeah, Sam helped me with the writing, with the pre-production, with the production, with the post
Oh, that's
editing.
fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so he's been very nice. Yeah.
Sam and his friends, I guess they had a very similar trajectory to you guys in that it was all just friends working together,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
having a mess around. And yeah,
Exactly. Yeah. And he's like he's my favorite director. So to get to, like have him as like a mentor and, friend, it's really cool. And his daughter Emma, I'm working with her a bunch, and I've already worked with her a little bit on some stuff. They're a great family, and, I feel part of it a little bit, which is weird to say, but like, they've been extremely like lovely to me.
great. Are we going to be seeing you in the director's chair again?
Very soon, yeah. I'm just about to shoot something, a feature. I'm trying to see what I can say. Um, yeah, it's a UK based feature horror film, some cool names, absolutely batshit in some places. Um,
Great.
but yeah, that's starting this year, and then next year I've got like a I don't want to. Yeah, I've got a really big film that I'm doing next year with some really cool people.
Wow.
So yeah, just lining them up really. I'm trying to sneak in a found footage film somewhere because I've got another idea for one that I've written, and I just don't have the time at the moment. So I'm trying to do another found footage film because it's my favorite subgenre.
Of course.
Um, yeah, so yeah, busy, and music videos and things, and I'm producing a million short films. Like pretty much every British horror short film that you see has got my name on it somewhere. Like I like helping the kind of like next lot of people
Yeah.
come through, and had some real good success and nurturing that. And also me and Ed Sanchez from the Blair Witch Project and Roman Coppola set up this short film fund where every year we pick 3 short films to fund. And so we're going through the first year of that now, and one of them has been shot up in LA. Another one's been shot in LA actually, and then one's going to be shot in Spain next month. So yeah, so having fun, helping people, and making my own stuff.
Good.
Nice.
That's fantastic. I think that leads us nice into my last question that I had, which was kind of host was one of those watershed moments in horror. Like it kicked off a bunch of imitators, some of which that were good, some of which were bad, in a very similar way that the Blair Witch did, in a very similar way that non-found footage horrors do every few years or so. What do you think? What are you excited about? What do you think is the next big innovation in the horror genre
particularly?
Question. Very good question. I am 100% certain, and you can quote me on this, that the future of horror cinema is VR. And I know people have been saying this for years, but it genuinely is because I've got a Meta Quest 3S, and I'm seeing what people are doing on it now. And it's crazy. You can go right now. There's a Blumhouse world you can visit in VR where you can watch clips from all their movies, but interact with the characters from the movies, and you can you can fight Megan. You can go to the house from Black Phone 2. That's there right now. So I feel like doing the kind of like a 360 horror thing is the future, but also watching films in VR is also the future, because even yesterday there's an app called Big Screen where you log in. There's a group of 30 strangers in the cinema, and you can pick the different types of cinemas, different films, and you just watch the films with like some strangers. And I watched Karate Dog yesterday at 3 a.m. This film from 2006 called Karate Dog. And I wouldn't watch it like by myself, but with a group of 30 strangers from across the world in what looks like you can look around, you can talk to them, watching Karate Dog. It was a great experience, and I feel like what it might take is another pandemic or something like that, so people are stuck in their homes. But yeah, but now I genuinely think the future is watching movies in virtual reality with strangers or friends. You can create your own cinema room and bring people into it with an invite code, and that's the future of festivals as well, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm up for that. I'm up for that future. Let's have another pandemic, then we can have Dashcam 2. We'll be writing Bandcar ourselves sat next to Annie.
Exactly.
It'll be Ready Player One. That's it, isn't it? We'll just be in there.
But for horror,
that's a good shout, yeah.
Okay, Jed. Well, I'm done with my questions, guys. You got anything else?
No, that's me. Jed, thanks so much for your time. We've really enjoyed talking to you.
Cool.
I'm excited to see what you've got
again
next
year when you get your big film out, and I'll ask you to come back on the show.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I do have a documentary that I shot last year called the Blair Witch documentary, which is I had access to all the original raw footage from the Blair Witch Project, like 40 plus hours.
Oh, wow.
I went through it, picked out, the documentary is 2.5 hours long, and it's mostly new stuff from the Blair Witch Project you've never seen before. And that's only available on the second site.
Wait, I have that. I watched that. Is that you?
Yeah. I directed that, yeah.
That was a phenomenal documentary. Yeah,
thanks,
it's on
man.
that.
Yeah.
Gaz, it's that big Blair Witch edition that I sent you that's got like Heather's diary in it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The documentary is like 3 times the length of the film. It's really good.
But you can see, like, I had that footage, like, for like a year basically, and I went through every single minute of all the raw footage. So and all the I helped with the release as well, with all the extras and stuff. But stay tuned, there's more stuff happening around the Blair Witch Project next year that I'm helping with. So I'm heavily in the Blair Witch world.
Yeah. Great. Incredible. That's great to hear.
Which is cool. Yeah.
What was that?
Fantastic. Right.
I think it was a wolf outside
so a werewolf attacking.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Incredible. What a great way to end an interview.
Inspiration.
And thanks so much for your time. Jed Shepherd there, everybody. And now a couple more comments from listeners about what they're going to be watching throughout this month. J. Jonah Jamieson.
Nice.
Garfield Halloween, which is fucking outstanding.
Yeah. It's good.
And it's The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown.
Is he American by any chance?
Oh, it might be.
I would hazard a guess that he's American.
If nothing else, I watch both of those every year. I also watch Treehouse of Horror episodes, but don't have specific ones, as long as I watch a couple. But Garfield Halloween, I've been watching this every year with my kid for several years now.
Oh, really?
Not necessarily on the night, usually on the night itself. And I hit the realization last year, because it centers around them, Garfield and Odie trick-or-treating.
Mm-hmm.
And they end up in this old man's house, who warns them about these ghost pirates that come out at night and try and steal back this treasure. So it's The Fog for kids.
Oh, nice. And we know you're a fan of The Fog.
Well, I do love The Fog. And then our friend Mick says he watches Halloween 78 on the night itself.
See, he said 78.
78, yeah. He specified. Got to get Scream 2 in there. Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors.
Oh, what film?
Jason Lives. Everybody loves Jason Lives.
Is that what I watched recently? Is that 6?
Yeah.
Yeah, 6 is the best.
6 is the one where he gets struck by lightning.
It's the one. No,
paintball one.
6 is the one that not enough people kind of say that he gets a James Bond iris.
He does get a James Bond iris. I think Jason Lives is quite beloved within the fandom. I think it's kind of most people's favourite.
Tommy Jarvis.
My second favourite is 10, Jason X.
Yeah, Jason X is great.
Original Texas Chainsaw, which we did an episode on, by the way, in case you wanted to go back and check that out. A really good episode, actually.
I finally bought 2. I bought it today.
Oh, nice.
The Big Arrow special
Excellent
edition.
film. Psycho. And it says that's how all the slash. It says Psycho. That's all the slasher series represented because he just named all of them. Fair play to you, Mick. And then Hocus Pocus or The Craft, because you need some witchcraft in there.
I think I'm going to do The Craft this year. I did Hocus Pocus last year, and then I did Hocus Pocus 2, which was shit.
What about The Craft 2?
Oh,
They didn't do a Craft 2. They did a reboot, didn't they?
They did a reboot, and it was terrible. It was very bad.
Let's just live with our memories, fond memories of the original. Right, on to our next film, Deadstream, which was an absolute joy. I forgot how much I enjoyed this film. I loved it.
Same.
Can I just say, it's the most. There's this and there's House, the 70s one, the Japanese one.
Yeah.
Howzu.
Stop being such a weeb.
I am the king of the weebs. So there's that, and Deadstream are the 2 most Evil Dead films that aren't Evil Dead films that I've ever seen.
Yeah, and there's so I just recently got the 4K of this, and I'm gutted that I couldn't get a copy that has alternative art, which is the poster from Evil Dead, but it's the main character kind of like reaching out of the grave and getting pulled back.
Oh yeah, another one, yeah.
But it did give me an opportunity to watch all of the extras, which were really good. Like for something that came out in 2022, it was a really kind of low budget. I don't know if it was Shudder funded, but it was a very small scale.
I think when I watched it, it was on Shudder the other night. I'm sure it said it was a Shudder original.
Yeah, so what I didn't know first time round and watching the extras is it literally was shot exactly the same as The Evil Dead. It's 100% practical. They shot in like a dingy, horrible cabin. Yep. The main character is also the joint director, written and directed by Joseph Winter and Melanie Stone. He's kind of getting put through the ringer, Bruce Campbell style.
Yeah.
And it really kind of...
More deservedly than Ash Williams.
Yeah, because he's a knobhead, so that's...
He's an influencer, so...
Yeah.
He's absolutely a knobhead.
He's an influencer. It's really interesting. So this is a bit... a lot of horror films that fall... It's a bit like Dashcam that we spoke about with Jed earlier, in that we have to root for him because he's the main character, but he's an absolute dickhead. Yeah. There's hints throughout. So he's an influencer who's decided to... He's been demonetized because he's done something bad, which we find out later. I think he killed a hobo or something.
It's alluded to, isn't it? He thought he never meant to hurt him, is what he says later, because he has sort of a redemption arc, which is kind of cool. Yeah. But essentially, he's done bum fights. Basically, he's an influencer. Yeah. As an influencer, they're all the same, aren't they? Really, they're motivated by money and no real sort of passion or integrity for whatever they're doing. They're just shamelessly making money and making themselves famous, and he's pitch perfect at playing that role. Yeah, and he's immensely dislikable, and he's done some very sketchy things, like this homeless guy that he tempted him with money, fought him, like all the controversy about bum fights years ago. Yeah, and ended up seriously hurting him. There's allusions to him being a bit racist, and he's just a piece of shit.
Yeah, he's kind of pathetic as well.
Yeah, he's kind of pathetic. He's a right fucking wiener.
But still, we're only with him throughout the entire movie, with the exception of a part of the movie where we have a female character who turns out to not be normal. Yeah. But you still kind of have to root for him. It's interesting that I'm thinking now you've talked over it. He's kind of a parasite, isn't he? Because influencers are parasites, including us.
Yeah, don't ever use my name.
What if we influence a listener to watch a film? Then we are influencers. That's the whole point.
That's not how it works.
It is.
No.
Directly.
No, not being called an influencer.
You're influencing people to call in to answer quiz questions to win a hat.
That's not what an influencer is.
Yeah, well, okay. Anyway,
not in a professional capacity.
So it's interesting because there is a parallel between him and the main demonic force, ghost, witch in the house, because
she takes many forms.
And she lures people in, and kind of she lures poor people in. She exploits their mental health, and then they're trapped. So it's there's a parallel between what he does.
Like an influencer. See, that's nothing like what we do.
Luring people in and sucking their mental health
and
dry
making them to watch good films.
Yeah.
No, I'm not having that.
So it's really smartly made film. Like the whole first half is him just going to the house, nothing really happens, setting up all the cameras. It's really tech savvy in the way that he sets up his cameras. He's got his POV shots and stuff like that. He's kind of his wrist flicker, which flicks between POV and in front of him. He's got a bit of an Aliens vibe going on with the different camera screens.
Yeah.
It's a Screen Life thing again. So we spoke about Screen Life before.
Yeah, you're right.
Host. It's definitely a Screen Life because we've got, similar to Dashcam, we've got his streamers on the side. We periodically go back to people writing messages.
Yeah, like in real time, writing comments on this live stream, and some of them are really funny as well.
Some of them are funny.
I wrote one of my favourites down. Someone says, "Honestly, I'm just here to see if he dies this time."
Yeah, really.
But that's just what it's all about on social media. Any kind of stream, no matter what anyone puts out on the internet, there will be someone, no matter how much suffering the individual involved is going through, someone will be there just to laugh at them and point.
100%.
Yeah. And the guy deserves it. I'm not saying it's unwarranted on this occasion.
I forgot her name now, but the actress who plays the witch, the main, she's also in Joseph Winter and Melanie Stone's VHS shot from VHS 90. Was there a VHS 90?
94?
Yes. So
I'm thinking Fear Street 94.
There might be VHS 94 as well.
There's a VHS 90-something.
90-something.
Yeah.
So that's got the segment To Hell and Back, which is they're at a birthday party and someone reads an incantation and they briefly go to actual hell.
Oh, wow.
And then end up coming back. It's really, really good in that it's a POV perspective, because I think someone's wearing like glasses or they've got a small camera. Or
Yeah.
And they get sucked through a portal into something that looks like a very horrible hell. And the actress that plays the main villain here plays like a Mad Max-esque like resident of hell that helps them out briefly before kind of like they come back.
Oh, cool.
So that's really good. So I think that's the first thing I watched with them, and then I watched Deadstream after.
I've only seen Deadstream knowingly with them in it.
Yeah, they are remaking our previous episode. Their next project is the Amityville Horror.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right. Well, it's been long enough, I think.
And with this vibe.
With
these filmmakers, I'm
I was
excited.
wondering as well, like what would be a good thing that you could do with found footage? Did they try this? Correct me if I'm wrong. The Halloween film that had Busta Rhymes in it, it was like a Most Haunted sort
Halloween
of thing.
Resurrection.
Was that the one? And they've got cameras set up, so it's kind of like it has already been done with a famous franchise already.
Yeah.
In a way.
Oh, God.
Let's not talk about that.
Like, H2O is such a good kind of reboot. It's not really a reboot, it's kind of a sequel. I really like H2O, and then they just followed it up with Resurrection and fucked it up all again.
Yeah, pointless. H2O. Is it H2O? Because I always thought it was H2O, and then I started calling it H20 because it was 20 years later, wasn't it?
I like saying Halloween H2O.
That's fine. Halloween water.
As if, yeah. Kind of
Halloween
like
refreshments.
Michael Myers is thirsty.
Well, he would be, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Deadstream. So he does, as I said before, he goes through something of a redemption arc in that he becomes genuinely apologetic about things towards
He does. He kind of has a breakdown at one point, and that's when you find out what he might have done, because he's like, I'm sorry I did this, I'm sorry I did that.
Yeah.
But then doesn't he at one point bargain with the witch to offer her his viewers?
Something like that.
Because he's like, I've got lots of viewers, I can give them to you.
Yeah, I think so. But then I don't want to spoil it too much if anyone's not watched it. But you should have already watched it, because we've said this several times throughout the show. You need to watch the films first. But yeah, I won't spoil it any further for anyone. But yeah, I think the fact that he does have sort of a redemption arc, if that's how you stop influencers from being wankers, you force them into haunted and potentially life-threatening situations. I'm all for it.
Yeah. I always love it when an influencer like gets arrested or something bad.
Yeah, I mean, nothing ever happens, does it? Who was it that got the suicide forest? Was that?
Oh, that
Jake
was
Paul.
that was Logan Paul, and he's now rich beyond his wildest dreams.
Yeah,
so.
Logan Paul filmed a corpse and got away with it. So more of this sort of thing, more violent, unholy
Things
scenarios
happen,
instead. Bit of karma.
Even us, because we're influencers.
No, we're not. So yeah, check out. It is on Shudder. Is Deadstream, so do check that out. A couple more. What's everyone watching this month for us? Timosaurus Rex is watching Something Wicked This Way Comes. The Ray Bradbury.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah,
that's a good pull.
Yeah. Ronald McGilvray.
Okay.
He didn't. Well, he's a writer. Right, he replied on Blue Sky, and I saw in his bio that he's a writer of the mysterious and horror.
A writer of the mysterious.
Yeah, but he was a man of few words here because he just simply replied with a GIF, not a GIF, a GIF.
No.
Of Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
Which is cracking watch. Yeah.
Yeah.
As is the remake, the Tom Savini directed remake.
Yeah, the remake's really good.
It's really good.
Even though he doesn't really have a good relationship with it, it's a good film. And if anything...
Did he not? Did he hate it?
I think I watched his documentary, his like biography recently, and he said like kind of... The last time he watched it, he went to like a fan viewing, and I think the energy of everyone kind of enjoying it made him reappraise it. But at the time, he hated it.
Well, that's weird, man. I watched it around the time and thought it was great.
Yeah, it's great. And if anything, it's kind of one of the very few worthy remakes of a classic because they take the female protagonist and make her like 100 times better.
Yeah, and I forget the actress's name, but she also plays that dead-out witch in Army of Darkness.
Yeah, you sent that to me.
As we discovered recently.
Yeah. You will die.
You'll die.
Hey, she bitch.
Hey, she bitch, let's go. I've been doing, because you may or may not know, I think I sent it to you, Ken, Ash Williams is now in this store for Fortnite as a skin.
Yeah.
Which I duly bought because I'm a sucker. So every time me and my kid Harvey are playing Fortnite out now, every now and then I just go, name's Ash, house wears. Just after, repeatedly. He's starting to hate it a little bit now. I'm having fun though.
There's someone that I saw the other day that got the Solid Snake from Metal Gear Solid and was like doing a perfect Snake voice.
Oh wow!
So you should just do that. You should just like go on live chat while you're playing and just be like.
I think I've got name's Ash. Housewares. I've kind of got the Kermit the Frog bit at the back of my throat going on with it.
Yeah.
Can almost do it. Anyway, so on to our final film. Sad to say that there are no cats involved in this film either. But it's an absolute banger. Scare Me, written, directed by and starring Josh Rubin.
Yeah.
And also starring Aircash.
Yeah, who we love.
Who we love on this show.
I liked this. You really like this. Why do you really like this?
Well, I think rewatching it recently, I think I was drawn to it and just blown away by her performance over anything. She's a force of nature. It's a show. It's like the Ayakash show.
Yeah, and it's really interesting. So this is arguably the most postmodern, since we're going with the theme, film that we've got, because it's literally about writers telling each other spooky stories. Yeah. So it's and
acting them out.
Yeah, it's kind of a horror film about horror writers telling each other horror stories.
And it is laden with knowing references to. I mean, he does a Jack Nicholson in The Shining impression at one point, does Josh Rubin. The reference Tales from the Crypt and do impressions of the Crypt Keeper.
His impression of the Crypt Keeper is perfect.
Yeah, it is perfect.
Yeah.
There's Stephen King references throughout. They quote him in it. There's a pizza guy turns up at one point, and I noticed on the back of his jacket his pizza parlor is called Overlook Mountain Pizza.
Yeah.
So it's that kind of film. It's made with, as Josh Rubin does, he makes horror films that are very knowing and very much. He's a horror fan.
Yeah.
So he knows how to make a good horror film and knows how to make it referential enough without ripping anything off, but make it a beautiful homage throughout.
So Josh Rubin, previously on such like sketch comedy stuff as College Humor, he directs, writes, and stars, which is pretty mad.
Yeah.
This was my second watch, and I did really enjoy it. I think this time, what I really enjoyed was, in hindsight, the gender dynamic of it, because the two horror writers, he's on the back foot because he's like a struggling writer, and she's an accomplished writer.
This is the thing. There's jealousy
dynamic.
from the inset.
There's a power dynamic. She's in a position of power, and he's in an industry that is predominantly kind of male dominant, but he's not. He's not in the position of power in the cabin in this kind of environment. So it was really interesting, and she kind of holds it well. I don't know. She's a bit of a snob.
She is, yeah. She's not a particularly likable character for most of it, I don't think. I just think she's a very interesting one.
Yeah, like right at the beginning, she's like, werewolf movies. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Yeah. Loads of good werewolf movies.
And she says, what is it? Silver Bullet is camp trash or something. It's like, fuck you.
What are you talking about?
Stephen King's Silver Bullet, based on Cycle of the Werewolf, is a must-watch film.
Also, she's called Fanny.
That's true.
Yeah. That's just pissed all over my gender dynamic.
She's called Fanny. Well, a Fanny in America means arse, doesn't it?
Oh yeah.
It's not a.
It's the other side.
Yes, it's the other side of the pond. Is what we're saying.
I really loved the sort of stories are mostly so they're telling each other stories, but they kind of come alive through mostly practical, like lighting and music. So he'll be telling a story about a werewolf, and there'll be a shadow cast behind him, and the sound of growling, and the lights will change. So it's all very kind of shadow play, which is not great if you want to see carnage, but it's quite
it's
nice.
Effective enough. I mean, I think essentially the whole film's about the power of storytelling, and it doesn't have to be visual.
Yeah,
there are visual elements to it in this, but it doesn't. I mean, it's a one location film. That is not one of those films where they tell a story like in Stand By Me, where it shows you what's happening in the story. Like you see the characters come to life.
Yeah,
it's all acted out and told by the characters in the film and in the moment.
And it is a battle between them, like metaphorically and literally.
Literally,
they are kind of they are kind of batting back and forth between each other. Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah. So yeah, it's as I said, a lot of Stephen King references. I mean, the whole conceit is that they're trapped in this cabin because the power goes out. It's isolated. It's snowing outside. It's obviously the middle of winter.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have to spoil it a little bit. So if you haven't seen the film, and I highly recommend you watch it because it's a powerhouse of acting from everyone involved and storytelling. It's just so well written. But it does get genuinely tense and quite frightening at the end.
It does,
because Josh Rubin's character ends up he's already quite an embittered man.
Yeah,
embittered by the fact that he's a man who's failed, and he's jealous of the fact that a woman is doing better than him, and he ends up kind of becoming homicidal. He loses his mind a little bit.
Yeah, becomes the threat. He becomes
Jack Torrance.
Yeah, he does.
Essentially, that's a metaphor throughout. Is The Shining, I think.
Yeah. I really appreciated the bit at the beginning when the Uber driver's driving him in and just kind of just belittling his entire career just casually.
Yeah, but also being the most annoying new Uber driver that you can imagine. He's calling James Cameron. Yeah, James Cameron. Do you know him from the Titanic movies?
Yeah.
He directed loads of them.
So I like how that is that's like an inciting incident that probably tipped his brain.
But you can tell instantly he doesn't want to talk about being a writer, but he's forced through politeness to go into the topic, and then it just goes downhill for him in that cab ride.
Doesn't he as well? So this kind of highlights how kind of pathetic he is. When he's trying to impress Ayakash at the beginning, he uses the story that Uber driver gave him.
He does. He steals it. He literally steals it, and then she knows more about the subject that he does anyway.
Of course, yeah.
It's very funny, very knowing, a little bit scary and tense. A masterpiece of storytelling.
Another COVID film, 2020.
Was it?
Yeah.
Crikey.
So we got 2020.
Maybe that's why it's one location.
2020 for Scare Me, 2022 for Deadstream, 2015 for Final Girls, which you didn't let me cover. 2028.
Is that why you called me an influencer? Is that where this all come from?
You Might Be the Killer 2018, and host, of course, was the quintessential pandemic horror.
Yes.
2020.
All right, cool. Well, thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, leave us a rating.
Are we missing a question? We've got a third question.
No, I'm going to do that at the end.
Oh, Isn't this the end?
Well, I'm going to say we'll leave you with the last competition question.
Oh, I've ruined it now.
You have ruined it. I'm not doing it now. You're not having a competition. No. So yeah, we'll be back in a few weeks' time. Selfish Ken's moving house, so we're not sure when we're recording the next episode, but we'll be back in due course. We hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, please leave a rating, comment, get in touch, enter the competition, send us a picture of your cats, because we like the cats. And we'll leave you with our final competition question. The intro theme to John Carpenter's In the Mouth of Madness, which was written and performed by John Carpenter, was heavily inspired by which Metallica song? This film came out in 1994, so have a think about what might have been big around then. Or just Google it. AI will tell you what the right answer is anyway.
Don't ask him to use AI.
They're going to do it anyway. Everybody does it. Anyway, get your answers down, email them in or comment them in, and we'll announce the winners next time around. Thanks for tuning in. We'll speak to you soon. Have a great spooky October. See ya.
See ya.
Live from Manchester Morgue is an independent horror movie podcast, researched, written, produced and hosted by Gary Hames and Ken Talbot. New episodes air every 2 weeks on Spotify, Apple, YouTube and all major podcast providers. You can help us grow by leaving a rating or sharing the show with like-minded friends. If you want to get in touch, you can leave us a comment or email us at killertunes976@gmail.com.